July 4th, 1943, 2:00 a.m., Kursk, Western Russia. Engines growl in the dark. 3,000 German tanks stand ready, their steel hulls glistening under the moonlight, engines idling like beasts waiting to be unleashed. Operation Citadel, Hitler's grand plan to crush the Soviets once and for all, is about to begin. No one here knows it yet. But by the end of this battle, even Hitler's most loyal generals will whisper the same word: defeat. The air is thick with the smell of oil and fear. In a command tent illuminated by a single lantern, SS General Hermann Hoth leans over a map. Red and blue arrows stab into the paper like knives. Every man in this room believes this operation will turn the tide of war, that Kursk will be Germany's redemption after Stalingrad. Outside, mechanics tighten bolts, loaders stack shells, and radio operators whisper code words into static-filled lines. The night hums with tension. At dawn, everything explodes. As the first light breaks over the Russian steppe, thousands of German tanks move forward in perfect formation. Tigers, Panthers, Panzer IVs. Luftwaffe Stukas scream overhead, sirens wailing like banshees. To the men inside those steel monsters, the world is fire and motion. Dust clouds rise behind them, a moving wall of war. But within hours, confidence turns to confusion. The Soviets are not retreating. They are waiting. German tanks plow into a nightmare of mines, trenches, and artillery. The first Panther explodes, its turret blown clean off. Then another. And another. Panther 221 transmission failure. We're hit! The radio crackles with chaos. What the Germans didn't know was that Soviet intelligence, under Marshal Zhukov, had intercepted their plans weeks before. Entire defensive belts, hundreds of kilometers deep, had been prepared. Mines, tank traps, hidden guns, layer upon layer of steel and deception. Inside his tank, SS Commander Fritz Bayerlein wipes the soot from his goggles and stares at the horizon, the line of fire, smoke, and steel that refuses to move. Everywhere he looks, the steppe burns. Every minute feels like an hour. Shells scream overhead, slamming into earth, tearing men and machines apart. By afternoon, the Luftwaffe, once untouchable, has lost control of the skies. Soviet Yak fighters sweep in, shredding bombers one by one. The air above Kursk turns black with smoke and parachutes. Then, they appear. Through the haze, hundreds of dark shapes rolling forward, T-34s. The battlefield trembles as Soviet tanks charge head-on into the German lines. The duel begins. Muzzle flashes lighting the smoke like lightning storms. A Tiger fires and hits one. The T-34 explodes, but two more replace it instantly. The Germans reload, fire again. Another hit, another wave. For the first time in the war. The Red Army is not breaking. It's pushing back. July 12, 1943. Prokhorovka. It's the largest tank clash in human history. Nearly 8,000 tanks, 2 million men, and a sky so filled with smoke it blocks out the sun. The Germans advance slowly, methodically. But the Soviets, they come like thunder. T-34s charge straight through the German formation at point-blank range. Some so close they ram the Tigers directly. Gunfire, screams, metal on metal. Tanks burning, colliding, exploding. A Soviet commander, Alexander Rotmistrov, radios his men. No retreat. Not one step back. And they don't. German shells bounce off sloped armor. Soviet crews fire from the smoke, invisible until the last second. The Tigers, massive and powerful, can't turn fast enough. Their size becomes their weakness. Panthers overheat. Transmissions fail. Engines burst into flames. Inside one German tank, a loader cries, "We can't stop them." Outside, his commander watches a T-34 burst from the tree line like a ghost, gun blazing, turret smoking. By nightfall, the battlefield is a graveyard. Hundreds of wrecks litter the steppe. The smell of burning oil and death fills the air. And still the Soviets keep coming. In a shattered command post outside Belgorod, the mood is silent. Hitler's generals, Hoth, Model, and Manstein, gather around the radio listening to frantic reports. Entire divisions are stalled. Fuel is gone. Ammunition is running out. Everywhere the same message: we are being overrun. Field Marshal Manstein clenches his jaw. He had begged Hitler to delay the offensive until Germany could rebuild. But Hitler refused. Now the price is being paid, in blood and steel. Panther tanks, once symbols of German engineering, lie smoking across the plains. Their armor melted, their guns twisted. Oberstleutnant Miller writes in his field diary that night, "We were promised victory. What we have instead is silence. The sky once ours is red with Soviet flares. Every field burns. Every man is afraid. Even the SS, once fanatical and fearless, begin to falter. Rumors spread that the Soviets have more tanks, more guns, more men than anyone thought possible. Whispers in the ranks grow louder. If Kursk is lost, then the war is lost." And for the first time, they're right. By mid-July, the German offensive collapses. Operation Citadel, the last major German push on the Eastern Front, is dead. Within days, the Soviets launch their counterattack. Thousands of tanks surge westward, reclaiming every inch of ground the Germans took. Cities like Orel and Belgorod fall in flames. In Berlin, Hitler slams his fist on the table. He blames his generals, his engineers, the weather, anyone but himself. But even he can't deny what the numbers show. At Kursk, Germany lost nearly 2,000 tanks and 500 aircraft. The Soviets lost more, but they could replace them. Germany couldn't, and that's when the realization finally hits, not with an explosion, but with silence. In the ruins of his forward command post, General Hoth whispers to his adjutant, "We will never recover from this." Outside, the night burns red with the glow of Soviet flares. The once invincible Wehrmacht retreats into the darkness. The Battle of Kursk was the turning point. After it, Germany would never again take the offensive in the east. The myth of the unstoppable blitzkrieg shattered forever. Factories back home could no longer keep up. The Allies were bombing from the west, the Soviets closing from the east. Every front was crumbling. For the men who survived Kursk, the sound of the T-34's engine became a memory they could never escape, a ghostly growl in every nightmare. In his final report to Berlin, Manstein tried to sound hopeful, but one line betrayed the truth. "Our losses in men and material are irrecoverable." That was the moment Hitler's generals realized the war was lost. Not in Berlin, not in 1945, but here, on the open fields of Kursk, and in the summer of 1943. They called it Operation Citadel. They believed it would save the Reich. But history remembers it as the day Germany's war machine finally broke, not from weakness, but from the strength of those who refused to surrender. Because on that battlefield, beneath the burning sky of Kursk, one truth echoed louder than the cannons themselves. No empire, no matter how powerful, can escape the weight of its own arrogance. If this story moved you, subscribe for more untold moments that change the world. One battle, one decision, one heartbeat at a time.